Hello and welcome to the Political Arena, the program that is dedicated to talking about everything that has to do with politics and those who are involved in politics. My name is Smorno Balagbogbo, and of course I'm not alone in our studios today. Of course, with me is Mrs. Halima Oiza Sadiq. She is the CEO, CHACHAVIVI Women and Girl Child Development Foundation, just sitting by my left. Good morning to you, Ma.
Good morning.
And thanks so much for being in the studios with us.
Thank you.
And by my right, I have Barrister Ajuma Lilian OKOLO. She is a family lawyer, teens coach, and pre-post marital counselor. Good morning, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for being with us on such a short note. Well, of course, the general elections held last week, and of course, the next batch of elections will be happening on the 11th of March. And today on the program, we're going to be discussing, some key issues with this past elections. Of course, I think it's the most hyped election ever in the country. And on today being the fact that I'm joined with two great women in the studio today, we'll be talking about gender equity in politics and be looking at that issue. We'll take a short breather. We'll be right back. Please to stay with us.
The time is suggested in the motion.
From 31st January to June 31st, 2023, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it.
Do you know what it takes to lead? Do you understand what is politics? Do you have issues concerning the way we play politics? Do you have reservations about some political mugu? Do you want to serve or be served? Do you want to contest? Do you want to occupy any political office or be in charge of your world? All this and many more are what we discuss right here in the Political Arena, a program where we trash and arrange, condemn and commend, celebrate and blame all that play out in politics. Do not be told. Join me, Smorno Balagbogbo, every Saturday by 7 p.m. to throw more light on why we play politics the way we do and how we can play it better. Political Arena, building a government of the people and for the people. Don't miss it. Glad to have you back on the Political Arena. My name is Smorno Balagbogbo, and of course, I'm joined with our two guests today in the studio. I'll be starting with you, Barrister. I mean, we've seen the outcome of the elections, and of course, no election is perfect, as the INEC chairman, has reiterated over the past few days, and a lot of people are agitated, a lot of people are celebrating, and what have you. I'd like to know your general observations about this election. As someone, I'll first like to know if you voted in the past elections, let's say 2015, 2019, and then presently, and what are your observations about this past election?
Thank you so much. Generally, I've been an observer for quite some time now, and just like in this election too, I was also an observer. And Nigeria is a developing country. We are still developing, and as such, all our systems too are also developing. So when the INEC chairman said that Nigeria's election is far from being perfect, is actually correct, because we have a lot of issues and challenges that needs to be worked on, and a lot of Nigerians are really aggrieved with the fact that with the introduction of the BARRs, a lot of them thought that it was going to be a smooth sail, but it was not. There are a lot of challenges, and we want Nigerians to just believe that this is still like, it's part of growing up. We'll say that it's like teething challenges. Maybe when you have a child and the child is teething, and we'll also believe that this one will also be like a springboard to helping us to develop further and better strategies on how to conduct our elections. Yes, these elections were marred with a lot of flaws and stuff like that, but we don't have to stop here. We can still work on it and make Nigeria what we actually want it to be. Thank you so much.
All right, over to you, ma'am. Your observations on the past presidential and National Assembly elections.
All right, thank you so much for the opportunity to be on set and to share my view and observation with us. Yes, I've been observing for quite some number of past elections, and this last election I also had opportunity to observe and also cast my vote, and I was so excited I was able to cast my vote. Speaking on my observation concerning the last general election, I want to look at it from a holistic point of view. I am not a politician, and I'm a development expert, and I want to look at it holistically. And I want us also to open our mind to understand it holistically. Okay, so if you look at the election generally, we have 3 major parties. We have the PDP, we have the APC.
Some will say 4.
Yeah, some will say 4. I was still going to come there. We have PDP, we have APC, we have the Labour Party, and we have the NNPP that was, manned by Kwankwaso. Right. So if you look at this party, because I want to speak for APC, speak for PDP, speak for LP, speak for NNPP. If you look at this 4 party, you agree with me that Labour Party and NNPP came out from PDP. In the 2015 election, we know that Peter Obi was the running mate of Atiku, and Kwankwaso was also with PDP. So coming to the 2023 election, we discovered that Labour Party has come out of PDP, NNPP has come out of PDP, leaving APC. So having 3 parties as an opposition party to APC, and this will give a picture of why PDP lost out in some zones or in some regions, because now we have the votes of PDP being divided by Labour Party and NNPP. Now, if you look at in the 2015 election, where PDP had a very strong voting strength in the southeast and in the south-south, that's because of the running mate. So coming to the 2023 election, you see that bulk of the voting strength has moved from southeast, or has moved from PDP to LP, because the running mate is now running as a party on its own through the Labour Party. Then come to look at, I'm trying to give a scenario why PDP would have, I'm just creating a picture, why PDP would have, lost out, or the strength would have weakened in some zone and in some area. Then if you look at the NNPP that has voting strength in the Kano, you also agree with me that that strength for PDP has also gone to NNPP because of Kwankwaso. So this will also create a picture or a scenario why PDP would have had, a lesser vote in some of these areas. Then coming to look at Labour Party on its own. Labour Party has bulk of its voting strength from the youths. We all know that. But if you look at Labour Party, before now, the strength of Labour Party wasn't there until the emergence of Peter Obi, which now gave it a strong force and a strong recognition. However, let's note that APC has been on ground. PDP has been on ground. They still have their allies. They still have their loyalists. So even though we have strength of the youth coming for the Labour Party, we still have allies. We still have youths who are allies of PDP. We still have youths who are allies of APC that will still remain to ensure that these parties get their votes. So that will also clearly create a picture why Labour Party couldn't scale through in the election. Secondly, you also agree with me, if you look at it holistically, that Labour Party has not really enjoyed the support of the Northwest and the Southwest. And this is where APC has comparative advantage over Labour Party in the Northwest and in the Southwest, because APC, or TINUBU you might call it, has already, has a ground and comparative advantage in these areas. And we know that in the Northwest, we have 7 states in the Northwest, and that the voting strength comes from the Northwest, followed by the Southwest, which is where TINUBU has, or APC has, its support in bulk. And this is where APC was able also to defeat Labour Party. Because if you look at the Southwest, looking at the states, you discover that, okay, Labour Party was able to win Lagos. However, with Abuja, with some merging, but bulk of the votes came to APC. Then look at North Central also. Out of the 6 states, Labour Party has, won 2, while APC was able to win 4. That's to show you that Labour Party, of course, it's not as strong as other parties which has been on ground. However, it doesn't make it less than any party. But I can say that this could be some of the factors that made Labour Party not to be able to scale through in this area. And this is where the APC has comparative advantage over these parties. Then look at PDP. You also, if you are, conversant with everything that's been happening, we know the G5 controversies and issues, and all of that, which could also may translate to the reason why the PDP lost out in those G5, the Abia, the Enugu, the Oyo, and states, River, why the PDP and the PDP lost out in those areas. Why I'm bringing out these scenarios and these pictures, so that we can look at things holistically and know that Nigeria is one Nigeria, and Nigeria can only be built by Nigerians. You and I are only the people that can build Nigeria and rest peace in Nigeria. So, having all these pictures on ground, note that in Nigerian election, we cannot rule out the fact that ethnicity and tribalism also have a role to play in our Nigerian election. We can't rule that out. These 4 parties that we just mentioned, they emanated from somewhere. They have their loved ones, they have their allies, they have their supporters, who under any circumstances will want them to be. So whatever it is, we know that nobody can beat his chest and come to the election ground and say, I am the winner. I must be the winner. I will be the winner. When you put all these pictures and scenarios that I've just painted to us, you will...
Sorry to cut you short now. Now, thank you very much for the clear, the holistic view, which I really, really appreciate. And I'm sure people who are aggrieved, who have been watching and just listening to you break down, some of the dynamics that were on ground, now getting to the outcome of the election. Now, you would have been, I've observed, of course, that the Labour Party presidential candidate came out, openly to reject the outcome of the elections. And the same too for the PDP presidential candidate. They've come to, oppose the outcome of the elections. Now, they have their reasons, of which, they both said that they will go to court to prove. Now that will bring us to some of the issues, because when you say, okay, based on all of these dynamics, you understand, we should, understand what is at play. Now, we talk about the issue of transparency. We talk of the issue of transparency. The IRF portal was supposed to show us the votes directly from the polling units. And of course, there have been issues. I was listening to a CNN interview where where one of the spokesperson, where one of the spokesperson for the APC, was trying to defend, the portal that, a lot of people logged in, at the same time, and therefore the site crashed and all of that. Now, when you look at, is it that the polling units now were uploading at the exact same time, where we had cases of some polling units who did not even start, the process of, collecting voters' preferences. till around 2 p.m. So was it that everybody was online at, I mean, the polling unit officers, I mean, the electoral officers who were there managing, you know, the elections? Was it that they were trying to upload at the same time that the site crashed? And one would want to think, I don't know, Barrister, for you to chip in, that these are some of the things which they are actually, you know, contesting against. You understand? Apart from the reason that they are saying that they actually won the elections. I'll come to you, Marco Barrister. I'd like you to chip in based on the outcome and now the agitations from, you know, both sides, you know, saying that they are going to challenge this in court. You understand? So, and also looking at the perspective that you know, Mrs. Halima has given to us to understand, you know, some of what has been on ground. It's not as if this result is just surprising everybody, but how would you add to this conversation?
Okay, just like she has actually reiterated, politics in Nigeria, you can't divorce it from ethnicity, favoritism, and the likes like that. So for somebody from APC to come out in the public and be defending whether the INEC portal crashed or was about to crash, I think that was actually uncalled for. And in my own view, it will sort of add to fuel the agitations of the people, because it will look as if maybe because the system or the whole scenario was favoring them, they had to come up with an excuse. But I would like to reiterate that we have mechanisms in Nigeria, we have systems, and one of them is the judiciary. So if any party is aggrieved, just like they've aired their grievances, the Labour Party and even the PDP, the most responsible thing to do is to go to court. And we have been appealing to people to be calm and go to court. Go to court. We've had clips of ballot papers being torn, a lot of violence here and there, or maybe results not being uploaded into the waivers. All these things are evidence that the court will look into and determine, you know, in the long run, who is actually the winner of this election. So what we are appealing to people is, please let us go to the right channel and redress our grievances.
All right, back to you, ma'am. I cut you short. I know there are some things in your mind.
Yes,
so
she has, you know, she has said part of what I wanted to say. So just like what I was saying earlier, Nigeria is a democratic nation, right? And in a democratic system, if you truly want to practice democracy, democracy means you should have rights to your speech, right to your choices and decision. And election time is a period where everybody should put on their democratic way. It's a period where everybody should know that, look, this is democracy. I have the right to choose whoever I want to choose. I have the right to nominate. Even in a family, we still have preferences. We still have preferences. Talk more of a nation like Nigeria, 36 states. With 36 states, with over millions of population. So when it comes to election, let's come with an open mind that everybody cannot be there for you. Everybody can't choose you. So come in, make your choice, nominate who you want to nominate, choose who you want to choose. That is the only way we can be talking about free, fair, and credible election. Until we begin to practice democracy in Nigeria, there cannot be free, fair, and credible election where somebody does not have right to make his choice and to make his decision. Where election, because when you don't have this in place, you can be rest assured that election will be characterized by violence. Snatching of ballot boxes, destruction of ballot papers, scaring people, intimidation and oppression, and all of that. So we need to come back to the realization that Nigeria is democratic and we should practice democracy. Only then would we have a free, fair, credible election.
All right, thank you very much. Still on the issue of, you know, rejecting the outcome of the elections. Now, yes, there have been, you know, instances, you know, and video clips, you know, of politicians, you know, trying to mar people's votes and then intimidation and all of that. Now, as a lawyer, because the elections happened all across the country, Now, how are you going to equate, each point where, there was voter intimidation, thuggery, and, destruction of ballot boxes? How are you going to equate that to cover the whole landscape and have enough evidence to say you want to overturn the outcome of an election? So some people would argue that this is, a waste of effort. It's not necessary. Just accept the outcome of the election, just like Goodluck Ebele Jonathan did. So given your law background, would you say this is not something they should do? That it will not, would it really give them the full backing that they think they can prove that they won as they claim to have?
Thank you so much. There's something so peculiar about law. You may have 1,000 pieces of evidence, but what the court looks at is relevancy. Relevant. Is there evidence relevant? Once the evidence is relevant, the court is bound by law to accept it. And there is also, a lot of people will say that lawyers are liars, but there are a lot of intrigue cases in law. For example, if a judge, let's even assume that a judge went to vote, and the judge saw that the process was being mad with a lot of irregularities, or he even saw that somebody was snatching ballot box. If the matter comes before him, for example, it will still boil down to relevant evidence. You can't say because he witnessed it that he should be, they want to provide evidence in that case. No, in law it's not like that. You must bring evidence that is relevant. And you're talking about maybe should I say widespread of irregularities over the country and stuff like that. We don't even need to bring all those pieces of evidence before the court. What the court needs is relevant evidence. Even if it's one evidence and it's relevant,
is enough to nullify.
Is enough to nullify, the whole process. So I will still want Nigerians not to lose hope in our system. A lot of people have been castigating the judiciary that is not the last hope of the common man. But we have system defects everywhere in Nigeria, and it's not only in judiciary. And we are still working on, all our systems to ensure a near perfect scenario. So for now, I think that will be what I will advise our Nigerians.
All right, well, I would like to come to you, Bob, as a development specialist and enthusiast. How important do you think it is, for the opposition parties to actually challenge the process, especially in regards to the future of the democracy of this nation?
Okay, so just like the barrister has rightly said, we have the judicial system to fall back to when issues like this come up. We do not have any right to carry out jungle justice. If you have your facts and you have your evidences, why not go to court, present your case before the court, let the court look into it and bring out the truth. There's no point for any agitation. We Nigerians, we too, we are tired and we need a change. Now look at the election critically. For some persons, for some Nigerians out there who will say their vote didn't count, that the election was as good as nothing. No, your vote counted. Who would have ever believed that a lesser party could come and be so highly competitive with parties that have been on ground for quite some years? So that's to show you that everyone is waking up to their responsibility, that each and every one of us have a role, have something to contribute to the growth and the development of our dear nation, Nigeria. So the vote counts. Okay, for the Labour Party to win a state like Lagos, then your vote counts. Your vote counts and your exercise wasn't in vain. So we can continue in this. And I can assure you, as time goes on, we'll have a new Nigeria like we're already having right now. So hopes are not lost. If you are aggrieved with the result, if there is any conflict among the political parties, seek redress in the court. Do not stir up any agitation. Nigeria is one, and Nigeria will remain one.
All right, thank you so much. I will take a short break, and of course, when we get back, we'll move into the second part of the program. So please do stay with us.
Opinion, they say, is the lowest of human knowledge, but the world, the people, the actions, reactions, and decisions are often patterned with opinions. The same world is characterized by different views, and decisions are sometimes judged by actions or reactions due to opinions. People, nations, and even lower animals rise against or for one another just because of their opinions. Minds are set on opinions daily. Tell me what you don't know and I will tell you. It's all about your opinion. Join me, Joshua Atinoi, on Malachite TV Online every Monday by 9 a.m. Your opinion, my opinion, if well explained and understood, will help us to build a better society. Your opinion, my opinion counts. Don't miss it.
Welcome back to the political arena, and of course my name is Mono Balagbobo, and on the program today we've been looking at the outcome of the 2023 general elections, reacting to some of the key issues, and right now we'll be moving to the second part of the program where we will be talking about gender equity in politics. And with me in the studio once again is Mrs. Halima Oiza Sadiq. She is the CEO, CHACHAVIVI Women and Girl Child Development Foundation. And by my right, I have with me Barrister Ajuma Lilian OKOLO. She is a family lawyer, teens coach, pre-post marital counselor. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining me on the program today. And we've been talking about, our politics. And of course, this is a political program. And as the saying goes, it's a man's world. But is it really a man's world? Because, a man comes out because of a woman. And the interesting thing is that, election in Nigeria, has seen very few women, come into prominence in terms of holding key, not political appointments per se, but in terms of power in the House of Assembly. And when you look at the recent statistics as reported, there at present just 7.3% of Nigerian women are senators. That's about 8 out of 109. And then you have 3.6% of women who are, representing in the House of Assembly, with just 13 out of 360. One would call that appalling and really, really sad. Now, I would like you to react to this as an issue. So let's start from there. So let me start with you, Barrister.
Thank you so much for having us here. And we've been talking about gender equality, gender parity, and it has been a song, for quite a number of years now. And it's really, really saddening that even after these general elections, the population of women legislators or women who have emerged is still insignificant compared to the number of men. And I would say that a lot of factors have come to play in this. This is a man's world that you said, is what has really been, should I say, in existence, because it's a man's world is really pushing a lot of women away. Even when women want to contest and want to come out, even from their own immediate families, they are not even giving that support. But we want to appreciate all those families or communities who actually insist that it's the women that they actually prefer to the men. And to digress a bit, we all know that when women man positions of authority, definitely things will work out. Yes, it will be so seamless, and you see that even the growth of that sector will be so astronomical. And that boils down to the issue that to the fact that women are actually capable. And just like I keep saying, women want men to give them this opportunity, but there's no man that is going to give you this opportunity on the platter of gold. And especially in politics, we have seen the way politics is playing out in Nigeria. Even for another party, to vacate the place for another party is looking like, it looks like something that is Herculean. Then we'll talk more of a man vacating his own seat for a woman. So it's looking like something that is nearly impossible. But I don't think that is actually impossible if we put, you know, our hands together and maybe bring a lot of factors into play and try to see how we can, you know, work women into there. I keep saying that if you want to come out as a woman, it's not something that is accidental. Growth is not accidental. It's something that you do intentionally. And you find out I'll give an example of my class when I was in the university. There was a guy then that was he was our class rep. Right now the guy, he actually vied for the Senate of his state. But this guy has started this from the university. You know, a lot of women just feel that because they are women, and we are talking about gender equality or gender, it should be given to. No, for me as a woman, I keep saying it, I'll not vote for you as because you are a woman, but I'll vote for you because of what you are bringing to the table. Are you really qualified for this? If we really vote you there, what do you have to offer? I think as women, we should go back to our drawing boards and really, you know, invest so much in ourselves that when you come out, you know, to vie or contest for an election, people will say that it's either you or we are not giving it to anybody. I know that there are a lot of odds that are against women, but let us invest so much in ourselves that people will want to, you know, align themselves with us and really, you know, bring us out to the fore. So I believe that even though there are a lot of odds against women, but we as women too, we have our own part to play. Growth is not automatic. It is not accidental. We must deliberately ensure that, you know, we bring women, we place women strategically, and also ensure that these women that we are placing are also have something to offer to the society.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. You know, this topic is usually very interesting. It's wide. But I want to say a big congratulations to all the women in the last election that contested. I'm not talking about people who won, but so long as you are a woman,
yes,
and you came out, you contested, whether you won or you didn't win, I want to say a big congratulations to you. Women are coming up. Women are coming up. Now, there are a lot of factors leading to exclusion of women in politics. Majorly, we have power over, like the anchor said, it's a man's word. We have power over. Then we have, you know, when it comes to the educational or the capacity or competency of women, it also have a role to play in exclusion of women in politics. Then power over is there, like we just saw in the last election. There's power over. Then, of course, we have financial issues. Or financial issues, then narrowing it down to intimidation, oppression, and all of that. These are factors that most women will not be able to stand against. But I want to say to some of our women who stand, you know, beyond all odds, were able to stand true to see to the end of the election. Kudos to you. And I want to say to other women out there that we should emulate from some of the women that came up for this 2023 election in whichever capacity they came up from. For you to really get into it, you need to be tenacious. You need to be optimistic. You need to be determined, because opposition will come. Just like the barrister just said, no man will just let you have the seat. Let's put it for instance. You are a man. You bought the form to contest for 100 million naira, for 50 million naira. And I got it, maybe they said, oh, she's a woman, let's give her for free. And I got the form for free. Do you think the person who got the form for 100 million naira will just sit down and watch you, who got it for free, to just come and take that seat from him? No. Because the seat belongs to nobody. It belongs to only the one who is able to scale through. But if you sit down and say we are women, oh, we are weaker vessels, it doesn't work out in politics. It can only work out 99% in your home, your immediate home. But when we come to the public sector, I'm a woman does not work out. I'm a woman does not work out. So we need to also play our role. Permit me to mention a name right now. I want to say well done to Barrister Natasha Akpoti. That is the example of politics, woman in politics. If you must go into politics, you have to look away from all odds, all distractions, all intimidations and oppression, and let your eyes be fixed on the goal. So that is one factor. Opposition party will want to drag you back. You do not need to look into all of those things. Let your eyes be fixed on the goal. Then we also need to build our competencies and capacity, so that people, like she said, you've got to build that skill. She won't vote for you because you are a woman. I won't vote for you because you are a woman. I will vote for you because I know you have the leadership trait and characteristics. You'll be able to carry the nation along. You'll be able to represent me well when you get there, because all the women will not be at that seat. One person will be there to represent all of us. So I will vote for you because I know when you get there, you will speak for me, you will defend me, you will fight for me, you will stand by me. Then I will vote for you. So let's build our competencies. Let's build our capacities. Don't say women are weaker vessels. They should understand. Nobody will understand. So build your capacity. Don't wake up overnight and say you want to come into politics. The field, the arena of politics is not a cold one. It's a very hot one, just like we have seen in this last concluded general election. Women, let's brace up. Then women, let's come out for one another. Let's defend ourselves. I said to myself, for KOGI KOGI Central Senatorial election, I said to myself, I'm not going to come into it because I will be biased. My organization is a women-led organization, and we are women focused, and we are women biased. So I will just hold myself, not, but speak the right word, speak the truth, stand for the truth. So I'm hammering on the women. I'm hammering on the women, because the day the women will rise up and say we want the mandate to come to us, I can assure you to come. We have the number, we have the population. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. On this note, we'll be calling it a wrap on the political arena today. I want to thank my very special guest, Mrs. Halima Oiza Sadiq. Thank you so much for being with me on a short notice, and Barrister Ajuma LILIAN. Thank you so much. We hope to have you on subsequent editions of the program. Once again, I am Mono Balagugu, and I'll see you next week, same time, right here on Malachite Television Online. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on our Facebook page, MLC TV and MLC TV2, on Twitter at MLC TV1, on YouTube. The YouTube channel is Malachite TV. And of course, do ensure that you go out to vote come March 11th and express your civic responsibility rather. Once again, God bless Kogi State and God bless Nigeria. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
Those against any, I have it.